Good morning, everyone. It's the 31st of October, Halloween, I guess.
It
Wow,
is.
10 months of the year already gone by. And just let us know where you're watching from. Let me turn this off. And I am in Central Florida finally. Just got home less than 2 hours ago. Where is everybody else here?
Western Florida?
Sarasota?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
where are
Well,
you, Rebecca?
Me? Oh, I'm in Tennessee, sort of.
Okay, and Professor Parquet. Good, good,
Well,
good evening for you.
yes, good evening. It's just before, or no, it's just gone 11 p.m. Friday evening. I live in a place, it's an independent sovereign nation. It's called Bartia, which is named after myself and my good lady partner. And it's surrounded by the communist state of New Zealand. So that's where we are.
All righty. So please put KMT in the chat for a T-shirt, Dahlia.
Yeah,
Okay,
everyone's getting
and
informed.
we're gonna be talking to Bart in a second. Please put any questions for him in the chat, QQQ, and without further ado, let's have it out. Dr. Kiltz.
good morning, all, and thank you. I was worried Dr. Nelson wasn't making it, and truly, we managed to get the transmission out of the communist New Zealand airways, and Bartia is with us today, and welcome to Professor Bart. How are you this beautiful evening in paradise?
Well, first of all, Rob, thank you very much for having me on. My people have been at me for several weeks. Talk to Rob Kiltz, talk to Rob Kiltz, they said. Talk to the boy. So, let's... First of all, we're all friends here, so, I'd like to think we could call each other by first names. Never mind the pomp and circumstance. Look, what's really important here is that we get to the bottom of what's going on, because I'm hearing all sorts of things. So what I thought I'd do is say to you, Rob, why don't you tell us what's going on? Help us understand.
Well,
But before he does that, what have you heard? Not what
Well,
you.
I hear all sorts of crazy things, frankly, from my folks. I've heard Rob Kiltz has left carnivore, which I dismissed that immediately in my own mind. It was like, okay, fine, Rob Kiltz has left carnivore, has he? Is that like Elvis has left the building? Oh, thank you very much. I don't know. People saying, making, I guess, value judgment statements about Rob's state of mind, which I also dismissed entirely. But the main thing is they're saying he's eating all these fruits and vegetables now, and he's saying, stop eating meat, and, none of which that I imagine in a purple fit that Rob is actually saying. So what would be really good for me, from my point of view anyway, is to actually find out what is going on. So apparently, Rob, you had some CAC score issues, and there was some concern about that. Help us understand what went off.
well, there's been the news that I'm dying,
Right.
and I said, well, I guess in some way I am, because I'm born to do that, and I'm on my way to make myself the very best fertilizer and food for microbes and plants. That's what I've decided is the most chance. And I realized that ultimately I work now for Alia and Dr. Nelson, and whatever they say, I do. That's my number one mission in life. But so about 2+ years ago, a good friend of mine gave me a gift for Christmas. It was a CAC score test to go get done. Now, I probably will have never thought, "Oh, I need to get any testing," and so it came back at like 600 to 700, almost 700, the first thing, 2 minutes after I left the radiology suite, the guy calls me and says, "Go to the emergency room right now." It doesn't look good. Of course, me, the carnivore, the healthiest guy in the universe, has been told doesn't look good and life is short. So from then I went to my cardiologist, Bill Berkery, really great, amazing guy, who happens to be a massive bike rider, and he usually calls and says, "Hey, Kiltz, can you talk to this guy about carnivore, please?" So he is pro carnivore, so it's interesting. But I then went on to get a CT angiogram, which said I have minor narrowing of the circumflex. Otherwise, everything else looks good. And I did the stress test, and everything was good. Now, my father had heart disease and 5-vessel bypass at 70 plus. My sister died of heart failure at 52, diabetes since age 4, and both my brothers have lost vision of one eye each, just like one day gone about 2 to 5 years ago, both in their 60s, 70s. And I have no symptoms. I'm fine. I feel fine. I feel great. And then I just, sort of like, "Hey, Kiltz, why don't you repeat that?" "Oh, I have high cholesterol forever," and then repeated it recently. CAC score goes up to 800, and my CT angiogram shows some minor narrowing of the widow maker.
The Widowmaker. All right.
And the right side and the circumflex side. So right, left, I'm the gen right, left, and circumflex. And so then my cholesterol's high, and I feel fine. And the doc says, "Hey, Kiltz, statins." And I went on the maybe I'm allergic to meat, and I probably have alpha gal tick syndrome, and it's as simple as that. And I should eat fish. And so I went over to salmon and added salmon to my diet. And after talking to Dr. Boz, Dr. Ovadia, I've got my ream. I should do this. This is really good. Come on. Well, maybe I can't. My box of pills to take, which are supplements, and I'm eating more fish. That's really the change in my work. I eat fries, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 from time to time, like once a month. I sometimes have a green olive stuffed with blue cheese dipped in vodka, but that's rare in small amounts. A lot of olive juice, by the way. I really drink olive juice from time to time. That's it. And other than that, I feel great.
And
I like
occasionally ice
cholesterol.
cream.
Oh, and I make Kiltz's ice cream because I figure if I'm going to die, I might as well die happy from time to time.
Absolutely.
That's really where I'm at, and I feel fine. I do my hikes, my 100 push-ups, my occasionally do this, and I eat typically 1 meal a day. Dr. Nelson and Kiltz, I did 15 days, and he never tries to outdo me. He does 22 days of no food. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I don't eat broccoli, asparagus, or carrots at all. And so I like to think I'm still in the house of the carnivores, and I believe in it. And what do you think?
All right, let's play hot seat just for fun, because there were quite a few threads in there, and great, that's awesome. Let's start with the obvious one. Rob, let me ask you directly: are you personally concerned at all about your cholesterol?
I'm concerned that it's been ignored for too long, and it's lonely. But other than that, I embrace it. And no, I'm not. I have the high bad, the low good, and all those sort of things. And no, I'm not concerned. But it is interesting. I would say I got caught up a little bit in the toilet spin of like, oh my God, you've got this. And recognizing that I was like, well, wait a minute. You feel fine. Your grandmother smoked Pall Malls, drank Manhattans, and lived 104. And your parents 94. Even though father had heart disease. Still lived a long time. No.
All right. Okay, so to ask an even more direct question than that, do you, Rob Kiltz, believe that LDL or cholesterol or ApoB or any subfraction of any of the lipoproteins play any causal role in atherogenesis at all?
No.
Good. Okay, so we're on the same page there. That's awesome. Next question. The two CAC tests separated by 2 years, one showing something like 700, one showing something like 800. Were they conducted at the same institution, on the same piece of kit, by the same manufacturer, using the same algorithm that works out the number, and interpreted by the same technician that gave you the result?
I didn't recognize anyone or anything as being the same. It absolutely was way different.
Okay, so how do you know your CAC has actually in reality changed at all?
I have no.
This is not a trick question. The answer is I don't.
The
I'll give you the answer.
I have no idea.
Right.
No.
Okay. So that's not really a concern either. If it had to come back 1,400, 1,500, then you might be worried. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't worry. All of this is part of the fertilizer of fun in a sense.
Sure.
Or part of the conversation that I think is real, at least in like, oh my God, what does it all mean? Because even Kiltz is like, what? But again, I have to have something to talk about too.
You bet.
No. Yeah.
Clickbait. Okay, so next question. You talked about alpha gal. I presume that was just in humour.
Moderately so.
Okay. You don't really think you've been bitten by a Lone Star tick, do you?
Well, I've been bitten by something, but I don't know when or what it was. But
me too. It was this guy.
Yes.
He's a bit bitey, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been bitten by the talk about this thing, and so I feel, as I said, I feel great. It's all part of we're all questioning something. But I asked Dr. Avadi yesterday, can you predict from anything here exactly how long I'm going to live and what am I going to die of?
The answer is no. There's only one person, not even a person. There's only one entity that knows when your time's up, Rob. And he'll let you know when the time comes.
Or I won't. Or I won't.
Or maybe you'll beat the system. Maybe we'll all beat the system. But in the meantime, okay. So we're all here for a good time.
But initially, it's essentially, and interestingly enough, it's sort of awakened the beast a little bit in order to sort of like put it out there. And like, I too am a human being. I too am getting all the tests and thinking and questioning and asking the question. I mean, this is why Professor Bart is here with us this morning, is because there's so much going on there. And have I left carnivore? Well, like I'm embracing it even more. And by the way, I went to an amazing 5 Michelin star restaurant in Lisbon, and there were plants, small amounts and some amount, and every dish I ate, and I ate the whole dish, and I didn't enter the next realm.
Amazing.
Am I still carnivore?
Well, I mean, the actual definition of carnivore is any animal that eats any amount of other animals. And the definitions are all overlapping, because an omnivore of course, is an animal that eats any amount of both animals and plants. A herbivore, or some people would say herbivore for some reason, don't know why, is an animal that doesn't eat any animals. And in humans, they're referred to as vegans. So they all overlap. So, I mean, yes. At the end of the day, you can identify however you like, Rob. Ted identifies as a giant in the entertainment industry, you see, and his pronouns therefore are fee, fi and fo fum. Personally, I'm an attack helicopter, and here are my pronouns. So, yes, you can be a carnivore. You can still be a carnivore. So, okay, there you go, my people that said talk to Rob, sort him out. I don't think he needs sorting out. I think he's got his head screwed on still. That was easy. What's next? Shall we answer some questions?
Oh, yeah, let's answer some questions, but I think I have to say something inflammatory. I think we just
please.
proved that Bart K is actually a sweetheart. I'm so sorry, Militia.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's all an act. It's for clicks, you see.
We were playing in a funny game yesterday with a little white ball and a bunch of holes, and then a bunch of human beings that plod this ball all over the grass and in the sand and in the water, and one of my balls plopped about 10 feet away from a massive
Dinosaur?
true dinosaur carnivore, which was an alligator, and just like I can't tell you in the wild, and I guess I don't know, is the Ritz golf course the wild, or do they plop these things in the ponds and wind them up anyway? But true carnivore alligator. Would that be true, Professor? They've been in existence for how many millennia?
Oh, since before the dinosaurs, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like they were here first.
They defined dinosaur.
Yeah. Alligators come from a line of ancient reptiles that are older than dinosaurs. They're not actually related to dinosaurs even, apparently. So, there you go.
Here's the first question.
Mm.
Woohoo! Been waiting for this, Rex Man. No bath.
I think it means bathrobe. I sometimes appear on my channel in a bathrobe saying, "Good morning, today I shall be mostly wearing this fluffy house coat."
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you feeling okay? You're not in uniform?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I thought I'd better put my best foot forward. So I thought I'd get dressed. Since it's 11 p.m, I might as well be dressed by now.
George, good enough. Prof, how many of the 2015 Rugby World Cup winning New Zealand All Blacks were carnivore?
I can only answer that question for the 2011 All Blacks, with whom I was associated in a particular peripheral consultancy role. And for the 2011 All Blacks that won the World Cup, the answer would be 3 at that time. 3 of them were.
There you go.
Not bad.
I need to pop this up. Juliet Eden's Wellness. Ovadio was awesome last night on our KMT Zoom call. Very informative. So, commercial break. We have awesome experts coming and speaking on Thursday nights. And if you would like to get access to that, please feel free to sign up for that level of the Kiltz Mighty Tribe. There you go. If you have any questions, email me. Dr. Kiltz.
Professor Bart, are there any tests that we doctors, scientists can elicit from any human animal in order to give a prediction of how long they're going to live and what they're going to die of, and what drug or supplement they should be taking in order to extend or improve that? And maybe Coach Becca can also comment on that also.
Right. My feeling is that the vast majority, perhaps 95% at a guess, of all labs taken by the allopathic medicinal community are absolutely unable to provide the information they are touted to be able to provide. almost none of the standard tests, if not none of the standard tests, are able to give us any kind of prognostic guess on someone's likely lifespan, unless a result comes back so aberrant that the answer is, well, it's imminent, you're about to die. And certainly in terms of what someone is going to die of, well, you can't even trust a death certificate these days.
No.
People have
Because
been
they write
sent
whatever
to
they
the
want to
morgue.
write on that, don't they?
They've been sent to the morgue alive.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that too. I mean, if you've got a doctor that can't tell whether you're still with us or not, I think it's time for a new one. I really do. Personally. Yeah.
Well, this cholesterol conundrum of all of these, the testing. What's the test that you think I should have, doctor? Or they're recommending I should have?
NMR.
NMR. Is that going to clarify my problems any more than I have created already?
I don't think you've got any problems.
Oh, I do.
Do you? I mean, not with your heart health.
Weather, the weather,
Yeah.
my work, and my woman.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Now, interesting. Men cannot live without women, by the way, and women all day long could live without men. And I fly airplanes, so the weather is an important thing. And ultimately, I must go to work. And who do I work with mostly
women.
in the fertility world? Women.
Yeah.
And it's all beautiful. And I all say this in jest, by the way, because truly, men are completely, excuse me, man, dumb. And I'll leave it at that. What's the name of your current country you live in, Professor?
Bart is fine, Rob. Seriously.
Yeah. Thank you, Bart. I appreciate it.
Really, honestly,
You know,
we're friends here. It's Pim Bartia.
Pen
Because
Bart.
my partner is called Pim, P-I-M, and obviously we put Bartia on the end of that. The only thing that was like tenuous and all of that was that Ted was quite put out that he didn't get his name in the country title as well. So we had to make him Prince Regent of the realm or something to keep him quiet, because otherwise, you can't do a thing with him otherwise. Pim Bartia. Yes, it's our independent sovereign nation. We've declared independence from the former New Zealand, now the communist state of Jabsindahardonistan.
I have a very important question here.
Okay.
Bart K. Who is
Yes.
Bart K? I would like to know that answer.
Oh,
You
yeah.
asked this question.
No, it's just who is Bart Carey? Because on the intro to the it said Bart Carey is going to confront Rob Kiltz.
Oh,
I said,
it
well,
did?
I can't wait to
Oh,
see
sweet,
this.
that's
Who is
great.
this guy that's going to
That's
confront Rob
hilarious.
Kiltz?
Yeah, you put
Oh,
Carrie.
I put Carrie. Oh.
Well, is my consumption of some fries? By the way, they're fried in duck grease and dipped in sour cream with salt, and they're extra crispy.
Sounds nice.
Having a few every few weeks, does that put me at risk of fertilizer sooner than later?
Well, first of all, I would say that in that case, that kind of behaviour is certainly not acceptable, and you should hand in your carnival card immediately for it to be cancelled. You should also report to Ted for some administrative correction, I would say. It's just Ted waving, by the way. He's not doing anything else. He's just waving. But in terms of risk, let me be very, very clear. Seriously now, no more joking. There are no studies extant anywhere in the literature on this planet that can inform any given person on their risk of any heart health outcome as that relates to any aspect of nutritional practice of any kind whatsoever. And there never will be.
It's unethical.
We
You
can
cannot
end
do
this-
experiments on human beings.
We can end
Ethics
this
committees
right
hate that.
I know.
Sorry, go.
They do hate that.
So the mythical Mediterranean diet
Yeah,
that so many people say, oh, that's the best diet there is.
right.
What do you think about that?
There is no such thing as the Mediterranean diet.
I was wondering about that because there's so many countries in the Mediterranean and they all eat relatively
Different stuff.
differently. So it's like the Mediterranean, like which Mediterranean are you talking?
Within
Italian?
the same
Are you
country,
talking Italian? Like, because I'm
within the
pretty
same
sure
country,
that's
you can have different ways of eating. Just
all up in
a few towns over.
Yeah. What they're describing by saying the Mediterranean diet is a diet that they then have to describe thereafter. So why not just describe the diet and leave the Mediterranean diet title thing out there? Just leave that off. Just say, we recommend a diet that is X, Y, and Z. And then if you're going to recommend the diet that they typically recommend as the Mediterranean diet, they're going to be wrong because that's not the ideal diet for a human being.
But I will say that I tell people when they're like, what do I tell my doctors when I say that, I don't want to say I'm eating carnivore or ketogenic. And I'm like, tell them you're eating a modified Mediterranean diet and they will love you all. They won't even ask you what you're eating. Just say, I'm on a modified Mediterranean diet and they will praise you. That's it.
Okay. Here's a question for everybody. Why, as the patient, why are you looking for the approval of your physician?
Because in the United States, the physicians have more power than what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
Like demigods, sort of.
Well, yeah, and I mean, maybe Dr. Nelson can talk to this, but they run in circles too, and they can be like, "Oh, you got that patient that I used to have? Yeah, they're a problem patient." Like, and they can kick you out. They can actually fire patients. So you might have a doctor you've had for 20 years, and you're not doing exactly what they're saying, so they can fire you.
I am always telling people to fire their doctors.
Well, I fire doctors all the time. They don't like
I'm always telling people they should fire their doctor.
I've never fired a patient, and yet I've fired a doctor actually for not taking care of a patient because they were being that demagogue. I literally yesterday I almost did it again because I was like, we in the medical profession think we're something better, but we're just another human being, just like they are, and it is the propaganda that we've propagated is poop. And I actually learned carnivore from my patients and more. And we learn from them. And it's sort of like you have a psychotic patient and you're going to kick them out because you're psychotic and you're a psychiatrist. I mean, it's sort of like that make any sense? That's what we're there for, right?
No, well, I mean, and you guys know that I'm in school to become a nurse practitioner. And I find that the teaching, and this is because I've talked to medical professionals, the teaching is very different in the way that we approach patients. And we're supposed to be partnering and doing, patient-centered care and doing shared decision-making. And in our classes, they're like, hey, if your patient doesn't want to do something, that is their right. And you cannot, you have to respect that. If their decision is no, you document that the patient is declining at this time or whatever, and then still treat them like they're human beings. And that's what they're teaching us. But I'm like, what about the generation before me or the generation of professionals in the medical field before me? Because they don't. And I've had doctors berate me, so.
But the problem, of course, if you're a physician, correct me if I'm wrong, those of you who actually are physicians in the US, is that if you don't get your patients on all the good stuffs, you don't get any of that stuff kicked back to you from the pharmaceutical companies. Is that right?
Well, we don't get invited to the party.
Oh, no, that's even worse.
Yes. And we were, Dr. Nelson and I were at the American Society of Reproductive Medicine meeting. Great, amazing people from around the globe helping sponsor and support the mission. And the mission is more
babies.
Money
Oh,
and they forgot
Well, that
about
too,
the
but-
real
It
mission.
should be more babies, Alia.
Making
This should be the goal in fertility.
Making more mommies. Absolutely, absolutely. And I honor all of the people there. And I would say to you that most of the people there are really there for the mission. But unfortunately, but truly, the focus has been on profits over people. And we're hoping, and part of this is for all of us, we're all here for the same thing. And we're not trying to blow it up. We're trying to rebuild it in a way. And that's what I love about social media, because Becca, are you a coach?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm a coach.
Okay. And so as a coach online, are you discussing healthcare, medical advice, and ideas? You don't give medical advice, by the way.
No.
So
No.
right. No, I don't either, by the way, on this platform, because
Yeah.
I too have a disclaimer on this platform. But our grandmother's grandmother, isn't that where? And maybe Bart, you could comment about that in some way. Is that we need to go get back to some more simplistic idea rather than what was that thing you put out on the screen? That
thing.
Yep, it was a note, and now I have this European notes in my backpack, but I have no idea what to do with them now.
This one's a greenback.
You can send it on over.
Yeah. Well, if the US government won't pay you guys, somebody's got to.
Is
You're
there
paid, it's fine.
is there a Bartian note?
We're working on it. We're working on a lot of stuff, Rob, because what happened was a few months ago, we got a 1 in 200 year flood that came through and smashed us.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad. I saw that.
It was incredible. I've never seen anything
bad.
like it. Well, once in 200 years, of course I've never seen anything like it. I'm not that old. And then 2 weeks later, the same again. The exact same level of, or slightly higher even than the second flood. So we've been chasing our tails trying to get because I'm a farmer now. Never mind, I used to be an academic. Somebody said, be a farmer, you'll love it. It'll be great, they said. But anyway, we bought a farm and we're ranching or trying to. And we've got some cows and some sheep and some goats and some ducks and some chickens. And it was idyllic at first, and then the floods came and smashed everything, and so we're starting to rebuild, and so we've been doing that pretty much.
He said, be a fisherman. He brought the waters upon you.
That's it.
And
Yes.
so Bart is a fisherman.
Yeah. Yes. There we go.
Yes.
I'm always trying to hook. I'm always trying to hook the next viewer. I'm a fisherman. That's what I am. Yeah.
Well, in essence, we now have the capability of healing our brothers and sisters and helping them with new ideas that we're not getting from our standard medical system. And Dr. Nelson could comment about at our booth, how many other people at this booth with 1,000 other vendors were talking about nutrition.
Yeah, we had literally hundreds of vendors there, and everybody had something to sell, something to. No one was talking about nutrition and the power of the human diet.
Yeah.
Does fat Bart, my brother, is fat consumption or fat on our body the cause of disease?
Fat stored on your body can, it seems, predispose you to several pathological states, yes.
So
Fat in your
level?
diet, not necessarily. Well, this is the thing, see, your mileage will vary, Becca.
Yeah.
The thing is that your affect is the balance between what genes you have and the environment in which you place those genes at any given time and in the past leading to this point. So the way your body reacts to what you do to it is the sum of all of those things. And so therefore it's impossible for someone to say, if you've got 25% body fat, that's too high, and if you've got 24, that's just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you happen to be a hibernating organism or a migrating organism, or you're living through a famine, is it better to be fat or skinny?
I would suggest that the best thing to be would be that you had enough resource stored to maintain an active, healthy lifestyle for the period of time that you need to do that for. May well have been in years gone by for many humans that they may have been in a position where a moderate amount of body fat over the winter might have been handy. But I think those times are behind us, most of us humans. Okay, the Inuit, maybe they could still do with some. Not sure. But I would suggest that any given person living in the Western world is probably, given that any one of us can go down to the nearest corner store pretty much any time, although for me that's an hour's drive because I'm rural now, but I could still do that 24/7 and go and get a fix of whatever I need if I really needed it that much.
Yet after a massive flood and this massive conundrum of the world a few years ago, which could happen and shut down our availability of food, this is where God may be saying the obese people are going to take over the world.
Perhaps.
Survive that conundrum of the C word.
Yeah. Well, that means, Rob, that I am personally in very serious trouble because I can tell you that I am less than 140 pounds dripping wet.
With your clothes on?
No.
Oh, okay.
Dripping wet.
How tall are you, Bart?
I'm 5'6".
We're the same
you
height.
think
We're tall. We're the tallest men in the world. 5'6".
That's right. Yeah.
you're about the same. You're about the same height and size as my husband. Like
Right.
he's just under 5'7", and when he left for this deployment, he was like 148.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Let's do some questions.
And
Yeah, why
bald.
not?
Haha.
Jonathan, how are you, mate?
It's
Good to see you.
Jonathan's idea that you're here this morning. So thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for that idea.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Fatty food. Where does the info fat we eat turns into sugar come from? My homeopath told me this recently.
If you intake fat that is in excess of your needs at that time for oxidation of that fat to produce ATP, then that fat can go back to the liver and go through a process called de novo gluconeogenesis. Really? Mostly it's the glycerol backbones that can be transmuted by gluconeogenesis, not the actual fatty acids themselves. So it's kind of a conditionally correct statement.
So I have a question for you then. Just a little bit of physiology. So when people are burning fat, is it possible for that glucose to go up slightly if you're in a state of fat, like fat burning? Your like baseline level of blood glucose levels, like if you're a CGMer, and for that to go up a little bit if you are in a fat burning state, like
Yes,
there you
absolutely.
go. So
The
for
reason
some
for
of these
that-
people that are worrying about their blood glucose and
Yeah.
shitting bricks over CGMs, if you're in a
Yeah.
fat burning state, it
Yes.
might be going up 10 points because of that. There you go.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, guys, if your blood glucose level is anywhere under 120, rock solid, there is no evidence that that is at all pathological. If you averaged 120, but you had spikes of 200 or 300 and dips down below 50, i.e. your blood glucose is doing that, that's a problem. And the problem is done, the damage is done up here, not down there, but unless you go too low, in which case hypoglycemia is an issue, sure. But if you're average rock stable anywhere under 120, I wouldn't be too panicked about that at all. And the reason that your blood glucose goes up when you're solidly fat burning, for want of a better term, is because of the effects of the thing that we parsimoniously refer to as the Randall cycle. And what ostensibly, to boil that down to make it really simple, what is the Randall cycle? It's the effect that we note, which is this. Mitochondria that are burning fat tend to want to keep burning fat until something powerful enough makes them change direction and start burning sugar. Mitochondria that are burning sugar want to keep doing that until something powerful enough makes them change their ways. In other words, the fuel provision switches up so massively that it's one of those inertia things, really, more than anything else. That it's Newton's first law, isn't it? A thing will do what it's doing until a force acts upon it to cause it to do something else.
Well, and something that me and you have talked about before is that, we have this notion in this simplistic notion in the keto and carnivore world that we're like, oh, you're either burning glucose or you're burning fat. And really you're always burning both at the same time.
Yes.
Your mitochondria is going to use whatever substrate happens to be there at the time for its needs. So, but you can be in a predominantly fat burning state. But even if you go on a run, your calf muscles are going to be burning some glucose. It's got stored, like hanging out.
Yes.
So this is one of those things where people are like, "You're in a fat burning state," and I always go kind of mentally roll my eyes. I'm like, "Well,
like this is not a switch. This is a fader."
Yeah, it goes.
And there's a
little
mix.
levers. Yeah.
What about glycosylation?
Yeah.
And the post-translational modification of a protein.
Yeah.
And the 9 sugars are critical for post-translational modification. And so I think my story is we don't burn sugar, we burn acetyl-CoA, which you can make acetyl-CoA out of glucose via insulin in the liver, and hepatogenous diabetes is real. And so if your liver is not purely functional 100%, you're going to begin to increase your glucose levels, which glycate. And so, when I learned about hepatogenous diabetes and post-translational modification of a protein, so all proteins are post-translationally modified by either a sugar, and there are 9 of them, by methyl group, hydroxyl group, and many other groups. And so the neurotransmitters require speed of light production of a neurotransmitter. And so we can't even be doing any of this. And so I think insulin is a digestive hormone. And when we did not eat, I mean, my glucose ranged from 45 to 70. My insulin was under 1. I always felt amazing. And so I just think we've given glucose more than it really is, personally. And I say that because an anorexic dies fast. And the mighty mitochondria requires acetyl-CoA, and insulin's required in order to convert sugars and amino acids to acetyl-CoA. And if you look at hepatogenous diabetes, cirrhotics cannot make acetyl-CoA readily. And think about the diet we all eat. We eat fruit, fiber, vegetables, seeds, nuts, and lean meats. And so we are not in general eating fat, adipose tissue. And what other animal eats cooked food? None. Processed food? None. Unless you're a domesticated animal that's been improperly fed anyway. So, again, I think that fat is always the fuel. We're confused because we eat 3 to 6 times a day or every day. And rarely do you find people that don't eat food for any length of time. And when you see that, because a bear will lose adipose tissue, but no muscle, no bone when they're hibernating and gestating. So, and not 100%, but very little or nominal. So again, I think what you've really, helped us out with, Bart, is questioning a lot of things and
everything. Question everything.
Okay, everything, right.
Yeah.
And so I just question that glucose must be converted to fat in the liver via insulin, And the biggest problem is, we're now on glucometers and more, which everyone's freaking out at every little, just like CC scores or cholesterol levels, we're freaking out when in fact, just chill out and you're fine. And without fat, you're dead. Anorexics are like bad shape.
Right.
Look up hepatitis. I mean, really, hepatitis diabetes is real. And I believe insulin resistance is liver damage. As the liver function drops, the speed of converting sugars to fat drops, glucose levels rise. Glucose levels rise, insulin levels rise. So just kind of a fun side idea that.
Okay. That's not mutually exclusive with the known mechanism by which the thing that people refer to as insulin resistance manifests, that being, once again, the effects of the thing that we parsimoniously refer to as the Randall cycle. I want to be really clear about this for those that haven't heard me speak before, which shouldn't be any of you, but apparently it is. Insulin resistance is a construct, not a physiological state. Please give me the name of a company that you can go and buy an insulin resistance meter from that you can test on your patients.
And it's subjective too.
And the term burning
Yeah, that's
is
parsimonious
also
at best
another
too.
construct, right?
Yeah.
And you can eat plants and animals or either, and you can be alive.
Sure.
Now, what poisons come in ribeye steak and is it plants are really more poisonous than meat anyway?
I think so, yes. I think it's very clear in my mind that plants are vastly more toxic to humans than meat is, that being meat in its relatively natural form, which, Rob, includes cooked meat. We've been cooking our meat for 1 million years. So, that's now something that's naturally ingrained in our genome. I don't accept for a second that there is a problem with cooking meat. I mean, I have been largely carnivore for well over 12 years now, and I've eaten very little completely raw meat in that time, very little. Mostly because I actually don't enjoy it. I don't like it. It doesn't appeal to me. I at least have it seared, and sometimes I have it well done. I know, hand my card in. But it's not a problem. There are no issues with that in terms of my affect, my health, N equals 1. That's my experience.
Look at Pottinger's, Price Pottinger, and just look at Pottinger's work on cats.
Yeah, on cats, Rob.
Yeah.
Yes, on cats. We're not cats.
Right. It's. I sort of equate it to taking the lumber to build your house and burning it first. There may be, and I guess I agree with you that
we are not cats.
But it may be for some people. One of the problems with cooking meat is you render the fat, and so many people may be over rendering and eliminating the fat on their meat, and ultimately it may be. And I've enjoyed rare to raw fat. I think it's healthier for us, but our measurement of that is part of our challenge. It's sort of like my grandmother, again, she smoked, drank, and lived 104. That's my diet.
What's next?
Here we go.
Crickets. Chirp.
No, we got tons of questions.
Let's go.
Oh, thank you for the crickets. No, we talked about that. Don't you think, Afshan, pregnancy safe cosmetics, don't you think that some testing, for example, 3D labs for IVF, are important?
It depends on what your goals are, what outcomes you're looking for as to whether you need to get testing. If you want advice on the likelihood of you falling pregnant, then absolutely you talk to someone like Dr. Rob Kiltz, whose speciality is absolutely that. My speciality is the physiology of rest and exercise, human nutrition, cardiovascular pathophysiology, and pure and applied statistics and statistical inference. So from that standpoint, I tell people, What on earth are you getting tested for? Shotgun testing for no reason. What is your affect?
How good are we at predicting someone's pregnancy likelihood? And one of the problems is if I give you a really bad number, how do you feel about that? Do you think that's also important, Bart? The way we practice medicine, and Coach Becca could comment on that. Because I have people say they said I'll never get pregnant. And now I'm depressed, I'm never going to get pregnant.
Yeah, my feeling on people telling themselves what they will and won't ever do is that they're usually right.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. I saw,
Exactly. Yeah.
Rick put that in there, or somebody's talking to Rick about self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah.
Mm.
Your mental state is huge.
Yeah.
That's why you should always have positive self-talk. Don't tell yourself, like, I will never do this. No, you probably effing won't. So just tell yourself you're going to do that and do it.
Yeah. Very good.
Someone would like to know, Drew, did Dr. Kiltz add back carbs into his diet?
You
There we
must
go.
be late to the show.
Did you add a bunch of carbs back in, Rob, or what's the story?
Yes, I did, but they were processed through a fish or a cow.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So just remind us, what is the exact dietary requirement for exogenous carbohydrates in human beings, Rob?
Well, the exact requirement of eating a plant, which we're talking about as a carbohydrate, is 0.
Right. That's the answer I'm looking for. Very good. We can move on now, class. Relax, everybody.
Relax.
Whew.
Relax.
Relax. He's still carnivore. He added some fish.
I was
That's right.
I've been laughing.
Dear,
the
oh
whole
dear.
time. Problem with
By the
me
way,
is-
Bart, one of the problems, if you might, he put out a video where he summarized what he does in his diet. But anybody that has been listening to Dr. Kiltz for years, which I have, he always says the same thing: French fries here and there, and ice cream here and there, and olive with blue cheese in a vodka martini, sometimes from time to time. And he has done that for years. So he put all this in one video, and everybody concentrated on him mentioning potatoes. That's where those fries come from. If he has a fry here and there, even in one of the books that we have, there is a recipe for French fries there.
Right.
So it's nothing new, but all of a sudden, people were
Yeah.
going bonkers because he's eating plants.
I mean, here's a shocker for you. At no time have I been a 100% carnivore in my life for more than 90 days at a time. Ever. And I never said I was. How's that?
Okay. So Reagan Martin asks, can somebody explain to me why pretty much every public-facing carnivore is eating carbs behind the scenes? Listen, because carnivore is anything over 70%. Now, you have some outliers like Charger Mopar, Rick, who is probably pretty much 99.999% carnivore, which is great. But it's not that one bite of something that's going to kill you, people.
Are there sugars in animal cells?
Yes.
Darn.
Yes, there are.
Darn.
Wow, so
Wait a minute.
damn carbs. I can't get away from them in my beef.
They're essential to human life because you eat them in everything you eat. Every microbe, every plant, every animal contains a glycocalyx. So I'm sorry, you're eating sugar, my friends.
Yep.
And hey, I'm not a pure carnivore. I'm not a purist. I know. I like zucchini every now and then because I actually freaking like it. So
Right.
How-
I think
how
you
do
better
you eat
report
it?
to Ted. Report to Ted after class.
How do you eat your zucchini?
So I slice it thin and saute it with a lot of bacon grease and a lot of butter and some salt and garlic because it's tasty. And I
Right.
do it maybe 3 times a month because I like it. So
You could saute wood chips in the same thing and it'd be good.
I don't know, maybe. I haven't tried it.
How many calories are there in a wood chip?
I don't
Could a
know.
wood chip.
But well, you got to think about people eat bamboo shoots. Isn't that technically
The
sort
same
of like
calories
wood
as
chip?
in
Grass.
zucchini.
It
Yeah.
all depends on how much you can extract from that wood, actually.
Right. Well, I'd go a step further than that, and I would remind folks that the exact capacity to consume calories is none. None at all. Not one ever.
Yes.
Calories are heat energy specifically. They are defined as such. They are manifest as such. Their actual manifestation in our so-called objective reality, if such a thing exists, is that they manifest as photons, which are the force boson for the kinetic force of heat. They have zero rest mass, which means, ergo, they do not interact with the Higgs field, which a ramification of that, which is known to every basic physicist, is that they cannot be brought to rest in any inertial frame. Ergo, you cannot eat calories. There you go. Just physics, just the facts. Sorry about those.
I know. I wish we had a better system for measuring stuff.
We do.
It's like
It's called
how-
grams of carbs, grams of fat, grams of
yeah.
protein.
I know, but I'm going to try to be really nice when I say this. People do not understand that construct. When I try to coach people, we've been so beat over the head with calorie that trying to get people like, no, I need you to try to do this many grams of protein and this many grams of fat, keep your carbs under this much. People just don't, it's hard for them. That is really, really hard for people.
Well, I mean, it's easier for them if you give them permission to believe that a calorie is a calorie, all calories are the same, which is true when you think of a calorie and what it actually is. It's the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree C at normal barometric standard pressure and temperature from 20 to 21 degrees C. That's its exact definition. So a calorie is a calorie. But if you tell a person that it doesn't matter how it's made up so long as they stay under a certain number of these so-called mythical calories that they can't consume anyway, you're not doing them any favours.
So Coach Stephen, because there's a big difference between 500 grams of steak and 500 grams of protein. Those are not the same thing.
Well, does a protein exist, or does a cell of an organism exist and it contains some protein, some sugars, and some fats?
Oh,
And
God, now
so-
we're really getting into it, the semantics, aren't we?
It really is even all, but
I know it's your show, Rob, but who invited you?
yes, get down on here. Goodbye. Okay. So I can't lose weight, and I eat almost nothing.
Yeah, well, that's hormonal, isn't it?
Yep.
Or your inflammasomes involved, or both.
Or do I really understand what I eat and how much is, quote, internalized into my cellular structures?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, energy is also a construct. Sure, mass is a form of energy, a condensed form of energy, and sure, yes, mass and energy are interconvertible, but only by way of a thermonuclear explosion. We don't generally explode thermally, nuclear-wise, do we? We generally tend to run our systems on interconverting one form of mass for another form of mass, i.e. we convert carbohydrates and free fatty acids, mostly, into carbon dioxide and water. And we produce some ATP by encapsulating some of the Gibbs free energy involved in those chemical reactions. So actually what we run on is chemical energy, also a construct, not heat energy. Oh yes, but energy is fungible, they say. So anyone that doesn't understand that energy is fungible doesn't understand why the calorie is still an absolutely appropriate measurement, and it's just a semantic argument. No. At the end of the day, yes, energy is fungible, but you need some kit to do it. By what kit is the human or any other living being able to transmute heat energy into chemical energy? We can't. If we could just sit in the sun.
Well, we only utilize heat energy because it's solar energy. And the last I looked, the sun was kind of hot anyway. And that's it. What other organism wants to be skinny?
Crickets.
Maybe they want to be skinny. Crickets do not want to be eaten by you either, bigots. Don't eat the bugs. Crickets have rights too.
When I'm riding my bike, I seem to be eating a lot of bugs.
Yeah.
But is there any other animal that one wants to know what was the right thing to eat, and I want to be skinnier than I am, so that when there's no food or migration or hibernation, I am healthier.
Yeah. Humans are like supposedly the peak of every animal on the planet, the peak of evolution, all of that. But actually, humans are pretty damn stupid, aren't they?
Yeah.
And some more so than others. Yeah. Some of them hold PhDs.
Gender-wise, one gender is smarter than the other.
Well, I'm absolutely on board with that.
Christine has a funny one. What animals want to fast for days by choice?
A sick animal.
Yeah.
An animal that's unwell will do that. Isn't that interesting?
Oh,
And
on purpose,
my
Timmy, on
friend,
purpose.
Yes,
if you
they
are
will
corpulent and obese, then you are unwell. And fasting might well be the answer for you. I'm not saying it is. It's case by case, but it might be.
And I say it's not the fat that got you unwell; it's what you ate that got you unwell.
Oh, it's too many calories, Rob. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So
And the poisons that are mostly in plants:
Yeah.
heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine, and the birth control pill is made from yams originally, plants. Too many sweet potatoes, honey. Man,
Yeah.
woman.
we are at 1 hour and 2 minutes. We have 12 questions, and we haven't done the giveaway. Should we at least just do the giveaway? Let's do
Do the giveaway. We got Mitch on. And
Right now.
and what are the? Do you see any like really revolutionary questions that if we toss Bart out without that question, we've missed the point? Becca, you see anything out there?
I have like here, was Tarzan a carnivore? Sorry. Okay. There are questions here, but Bart, you'll have to come back.
I'd love to. Look, anytime and twice on Sundays.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Bacon Girl
Almost,
51.
almost.
Woo! You want a t-shirt? Please email me, alia@drkiltz.com, and you will get your t-shirt. I need your shirt size and address and real name if it is not Bacon Girl.
Bart, are you going to be in Australia at the meetup this coming year? And where can we go to personally meet Bart?
Right. Well, we were supposed to meet personally face to face last year, Rob, but it didn't happen due to circumstances beyond my control, unfortunately. Sadly, I had to miss that particular event. As it stands, there's no plans for me to travel anywhere outside of the independent sovereign nation of Pimbatia for quite some time. Her Majesty Pim, Queen of Pirates and Queen of all Pimbatia, has me fully. My detail has been mapped out well ahead. I've got things to do and stuffs and whatever. People that want to meet me personally face to face can come to Pimbatia and we'll put you up and feed you. And all you need to do is just pitch in a bit on the farm, really. And that's voluntary because we're not going to employ anybody because then we have to tell the IRS about it, the New Zealand IRS, and we don't want to do that. So anyone that's, of sound mind and sound body and all of that wants to come and pitch in a bit and help out, absolutely would love to host you. If you want to just have Zoom meetings with me, you can join my Patreon at the discussions tier. I call it discussions tier, but it's just consultancy. And it's your coin, so you can talk to me about anything you like, really, during those periods of time. The best place to find me otherwise is to go to my YouTube channel, which is at Bart-KAY. There you go.
Awesome.
So it's not Bart Kart. I tried to change the title and it turned into From Bart K to Bart Kart.
Oh, well, there it is. You can't
I'll
win.
fix it later. No, I
Oh,
can't
good.
win on this one.
Go Kart.
A pleasure as ever, everybody. Good to see you all. Behave yourselves. Don't do anything I would, otherwise I'll have to send Ted round.
Uh-oh.
Thank
You
you
don't
for
want
being
that.
Bye,
here, Bart.
everybody.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
All
Bye
right.
all. Thank you, Bart. Thank